All right, so a week ago, something like that, we announced our latest game, Desktop Island Idle Together. Here you can see it's a co-op live simmed through both an active or idle playstyle, so you can play it at the bottom of the screen. Multiplayer game, like 1 to 6 player multiplayer, or you can actually play it as an active game. We did the playtest at the same time, and let me tell you, the comments from you guys, as usual, the pixel art is shit. Art is not good enough. Looks like RPG Maker game. It's Unity. Art is not good enough. You guys would need an artist. Okay, all of that, you guys were trashing the art. Okay, I just want to say, first off, none of the art is custom. The entire game is based around this single itch.io asset pack, which I think it looked fine. But hey, you guys have some valid points as well. And the game, we did a playtest with it, we announced it, and I'm happy to say that maybe in a surprise upset victory, we're sitting right now at 1,128 wishlists 1 week after having announced the game. There's a few reasons for this. We're going to dive into that in a second. And you are not the reason for that. This may sound funny or like weird, but let's talk a bit about some of the analytics, some of the stats. This was the video that was kind of like the Bite Me announcement. That was like our biggest bet ever. The video did really well. It's like a 1 out of 10 best performing video out of the last 10 videos we did. Sitting currently at about 10,000 views. Okay, that's a good number. So you're like, oh, all of these wish lists, 1,100, so much wish lists. That's just your audience, right? So what we did is actually, I used UTM links. So we can track how many people watched that video and then clicked on it and then see the conversion from there. Take a look here at our UTM analytics. So in Steam, you can like track using UTM links. This is why you should use UTM links. We can see here, YouTube, our biggest risk, Bite Me Games, a total of 1,060 people clicked that link. And out of that, we had 40 people wishlist the game. Like 0.4% wishlist conversion rate from like view to wishlist. That's, I think, the worst we have ever done for a devlog. To give you an idea, we also made a devlog for Unicycle Pizza Time, for example. We're sitting at about 0.8% view to wishlist conversion rate. So the Bite Me audience did not like this game. Now, the goal for that video, our biggest risk video, was not really to get wishlists. It was on the one hand to just tell you about some of the issues that we had been dealing with inside of our studio. And then the second thing was, okay, we wanted still like playtesters. We wanted actual like developers who kind of knew how to play a game and then give feedback. And I think that worked pretty well. We got a lot of feedback. It just keeps going. Thomas has enough shit to do for definitely at least the next month. So I'm very happy with that. The goal was made there for that video. The video was not meant to drive wish lists. Instead, we uploaded stuff like the trailer, also not on the main YouTube channel because I knew that was not the audience. We uploaded the trailer to the secondary channel. We have this one, Bite Me's Games, that we upload all of our game content on, not the GameDev content. If you don't care about our games, don't subscribe to that one. I don't want you. If you just want to see how we make games, then this is a channel that you want to be on. This performed really badly, I would say, especially compared to also Silicon Architect was 1,000 views, and then this also got re-uploaded. We did not get any trailer re-uploads through either Game Trailers or Indie Games Hub or a few other channels for Desktop Island, unfortunately, which maybe indicates that the game just did not look interesting enough. It's a piece of feedback, a data point as well. So, okay. Marnix, what the fuck is going on? Because you're telling me that you're not getting any wish lists from YouTube and you're not getting any wish lists from like your trailer because there's barely any views here. So where the hell did your 1,128 outstanding wish lists come from? And this was kind of the game did not perform this well the first, I would say 48 hours. After 48 hours, the game was sitting at about, I think it was 300 wish lists, something like that. Yeah, because, okay, after the announcement, 220 wishlists, like when we went public, kinda, and then 58. And then, okay, it calmed down again. As you can see here, what the hell happened here? 634 wishlists in one day, 100 the day after, and then now it is still finally cooling down again. Well, of course you knew it. The Japanese hobies pulled it through again. Automaton is probably one of the best platforms for us. I think they saved Unicycle Pizza Time as well. They helped a lot with MO98 in like... MO98 did not get much like Asian coverage, but the ones that we did get come most from Automaton. If you didn't know, I've actually made a video with them. I'll put it up there like years ago at this point with like their editor-in-chief for Automaton. because they are based locally here where I live in Japan as well. And they covered it, Bite Me Games, Desktop Island, Idle Together. They also, this is translated, made an X post that got around 200,000 views and then a bunch of like retweets and things like that. Desktop Island online live sim, work up to 5 players, island building where you can join anytime at your preferred timing. I think this is the thing that makes the game kind of stand out. You know, they re-uploaded the trailer and all of that. At this point, I know like, okay, what to update at the trailer and a bunch of issues there. If we take a look at our wish lists, here we can see that 906 wish lists came from Japan, 900 like actual net wish lists, and then like United States, Brazil, everything else is kind of very, very small. So right now, the game, it's kind of doing good, it's kind of doing bad. This shows, at least to us, that, okay, the game has a decent amount of potential still. Because I have to say, the people who... Japanese people are pretty ruthless when it comes to pixel art. I would say even more ruthless than the people in our comments so far. Because pixel art is a much bigger art style here in Japan. So it's like, okay, we can make this work. I think that's kind of what this shows of like, we just need to get the game out there in front of enough people and then people will want to play it most likely. I also pulled up the SteamDB stats right now. So as you can see, this is when the Steam page got announced, and then like I think like at 5:30, like this is when the video went live. It's at usually 5:30 UTC time, and then we had like a little bit of a spike on Friday. It booped up naturally again, then it kind of died, and then I think this is when the Automaton article hit. A fun fact here is our playtest is not localized. Our like store page and everything is localized. That's not a problem. But the actual playtest wasn't localized, and we still had a pretty significant spike, I would say, of just people pulling in the playtest. The playtest was also not the goal for things like Automaton. That was like wish lists was the primary goal there, and doing our press releases. So I still take it. I was kind of surprised to check the stats and see that like 3 people are still online right now. We're going to take the playtest offline in I think 2 days or something, and then just keep working on the game with the goal of a demo later on. But we'll talk about the future soon. A little bit more stats. We had a total of 885 people, or like things, because I think at least like 100 of these are bots and things like that. You'll notice this when you launch your first playtest. In the first like 1 hour, I would say, you immediately get 100 participants, something like that, 70 to 100 participants. It goes up by like 10 per second or like 10 per refresh. Just from like bots auto-claiming every single Steam key or like Steam program that there is. So it's a little bit less in reality of like people who actually played it. I have some stats here as well. We had unique users 495. So yeah, about 390 people did not even start up. They just claimed the license, but never started up the game. Median time play 18 minutes. This is not great stats. I have some other stats. This is in Dutch from Thomas, but basically 323 people actually reached Community House level 2. Median playtime of 10 minutes, average playtime of 42 minutes. So somebody just left the game open for a really long time. 145 people reached Community House level 3, and that required actually playing for about an hour. So we'll look at that, about 33%, I guess, played an hour. I think the stats, you know, it's a playtest, it's rough. We knew it was going to be bad. I think we're going to be minding these statistics more, like minimum time played. A baseline that you kind of want to have is at least 80%, especially with the desktop idler. I think we want to have even more than that. We want to solve those problems by the time we get to the demo, but I think we have enough feedback now to actually solve those problems. Also here, once again, from the playtest downloads by region again, we can see that Japan was a massive amount here, 338, even though we didn't localize the playtest. I think maybe that might also be part of why the playtime is kind of fucked, of like Japanese people who boot up the playtest but then figure out that it's not localized yet because it's too early in development to start with like localizing the full game and then turn it off again. A bunch of theories, bunch of things we can think about there, but I think we already have some stuff. One other thing that we did, but that didn't really bring us that much, I would say, is I did like a little bit of a Reddit spree for like co-op gaming for the game, but like no real big impact, I would say. Also some Silicon Architect stuff. I wanted to make a post on incremental games. Incremental Games, I think, would have been better for this kind of game as well, because this was Silicon Architect. The problem is because we have two games, Incremental Games has like a rule where you can only make one post every month for your game, and we already burnt that one on the Silicon Architect, so nothing is happening here. Maybe another thing that went wrong, like a lot of things actually went wrong, I would say, is Incremental DB also had the same problem where if I go here, Desktop Island idle together, still has not been confirmed. We're a week later. I think it's never going to get confirmed now. I don't know what the people over at Incremental DB are doing. I think it's kind of a miserable website. It's, what's it called? It's like the thing you have to use even though it sucks, but it just works. I think that's kind of Incremental DB if you're making an incremental game. Nobody likes to interact with it who is a developer as far as I can tell, but it's kind of required. Some other problems are like things that went wrong or went right is this game relies on Steam networking and Steam Workshop, so we couldn't do things like itch.io builds. Also, it's a desktop idler, so we can't do web builds, which reduces the amount of reach you have from a playtest, because if you compare that, of course, to, for example, the itch.io, we can see that Silicon Architect got like thousands of browser plays, which translated to wishlist. So maybe that's an interesting point to talk about as well. Just as a little week 3 update, Silicon Architect was the other game we announced. That one is currently sitting at 699 wishlists after 3 weeks, so it's a bit less. But most of these wishlists actually came purely from itch.io for the most part, and then Reddit, and actually nothing in terms of press and like trailer coverage almost. I would say, however, both these games, Silicon Architect at 700 wishlists and Desktop Island at 1200, like 1128 wishlists right now after 1 week, are doing pretty okay. If we take a look here at the how to market a game, they have like this benchmark section of like gross earning tiers. If you have a silver game, it's between 10K and 250K, gold game 250K and 1 million. How many wishlists will I earn when I launch my Steam page? This, if you click through this article, this is the amount of views or like the amount of wishlists you have 2 weeks after announcing your Steam page. So for Silicon Architect, we're in the silver tier, low silver tier, which I think is fine because that is a game that is pretty low in terms of like total time invested so far. If that game makes 10K, we're more than break even on that already. And I think we can make it earn more. And then, yeah, 1 week in, we're almost at 1200 wishlists. So maybe this is going to be the $1 billion game. I don't think so. It's going to be a low gold game. Maybe. This is, of course, it's not the only like evidence of like, oh, this game is now guaranteed to make 250K. It would be nice, of course. There's other stuff. There's a lot of other stats we need to look at. Probably we'll see later on when we get further. Yeah, because 18 minutes median playtime was what we had for Desktop Island, which is like silver tier. Oh, I was blocking it. So a bunch of stuff like this. We'll see. But I think both of these games are definitely not failures. I think one like stat that I like to look at as well here is like, these were the Bite Me games submitted for Next Fest for June 2026. We're in the top 1/3 of games, Bite Me games already, like Bite Me submitted games. So that's something I'm happy with as well. Of course, it's like being the, how did I say it? It's like being the strongest kid in elementary school. It's like there's still a lot of bigger fish out there. But I think it is a good motivation boost. It shows to us that we do kind of still know how to announce a game and that we do still kind of, you know, have some level of interest in the games that we do make. Do I know the secret now to making $1 million games? No. And I don't have that to share with you. We did a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff that we did, like, for example, press releases, Reddit posts and things like that, didn't work. Some of the stuff did work. I think it's something I'm realizing now is you need to try every single approach. We did like some short form content as well. And most of the time, it's not going to perform. But once you get that one thing that works, like, for example, Automaton covering our game and then having a game that seemingly vibes with them, then it works really, really well. It's kind of what it's like, I would say. So what's next for us? For both games, the demo releases are going to be next. And with that demo release comes a second marketing beat. Especially for Silicon Architect, it's going to be content creators. For a Desktop Island, it's going to be a little bit harder to get content creators because it's more of an idler desktop game, which just has less of a content creator audience. Would be more like short form content and just like organic gameplay and probably some press reshooting the trailer because I now got a lot of feedback as well on the trailer, showcasing more the multiplayer aspect, the desktop idler aspect, and all of those things. And then after that, so demo should go live for both games early September. After that, it is Steam Next Fest. After Steam Next Fest, it's release somewhere this year still. both games we're looking at a release in November this year still, because that would allow us to still hit Steam payouts by end of December, so we're still making some money from other games this year. It's kind of a mental thing. I don't know. Desktop Island has a lot of content coming still. Thomas has a lot of ideas in the pipeline, automation, capybaras, all of that kind of stuff. There's more content coming, interior decorating, but for that, we'll have to see. I'm gonna not give you like every single update, but I do wanna share with you some of the main highlights and what does work and doesn't work, because we're on the road to build $1 million studio, and I wanna take you guys along on the journey. So if you feel like, hey, I wanna see where Desktop Island goes, I think it's an absolute dog shit game, but seemingly it's still outperforming my game in terms of wish lists, then feel free to hate subscribe, and you'll be notified 2 times a week, because we upload 2 videos every week talking about the things that we learn. That's all I have to say. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.